This week it's time for Mirrool to become a sailboat again as we reinstall the mast with her new DYNEEMA rigging and make the final preparations to our hull and deck ready for painting.
Did you capture on film the disgust? Peek through this bag of metal fittings?
No, I didn't see that, no.
Welcome to Free Range Sailing. For those of you that are new here, our boat Mirrool is a Clansman 30. She's a fiberglass 30-foot masthead sloop built in New South Wales in 1969. We are currently giving her a long overdue refit in Tasmania, with plans to set sail soon for the Australian summer. To support our project and remain notified of all upcoming releases, thanks for subscribing to our channel and hitting the bell button. We got just a little bit of epoxy left over, and Troy's put this is the new thickening fairing compound that we've been using. It's West Systems 410, West Systems 410, and it's really light. It mixes a lot faster than Q-cells, and it's really light, and it's really great for finishing fairing, for the finishing touches fairing. It's got no strength.
It can only be used for fairing.
It can only be used for fairing because it doesn't have any strength. So it's just to make your finished fiberglassing project look perfect and smooth. And we're going to use it to smooth off this part of the hull here where we found like a little bit of a dent in the hull.
This is really tricky because it's a curved surface both ways. So
I think you've done good there.
we'll keep that up like that,
I think that looks good.
and we'll run it like that.
Yeah, nice.
I'll get back to it.
What do you think about that? You can't paint directly over the top of West Systems 410 epoxy filler with any solvent, so once we'd finished fairing, we put a thin layer of unthickened epoxy over the top of our repairs to seal them before more sanding to get a smooth finish. I think it's 7 o'clock now and everyone's gone home, so we can finally record some audio and show you the state of our boat. Things have been pretty crazy and we haven't filmed that much because we've just been sanding and we don't want to subject you to lots and lots of sanding footage, but we'd love to walk you through what's going on the boat at the moment before we paint, because once it's painted everything's going to be covered up and you're not going to see all our repairs and everything like that. This pad here is where our windlass goes. If you've been watching us from the beginning, you would have seen us install this. We've had no issues with it. It's a piece of pine that we glassed in, but it was a little bit rough. We weren't the best fiberglasses 2 years ago, so we just tidied it up a bit with a fillet and everything, and now it's nice and smooth. So yeah, our windlass is gonna sit on there. These pads here, everywhere where we're putting deck fittings in the boat, we've put these raised pads in. So anything that's going to be penetrating the deck with a bolt and nut on the other side, we've put these raised pads in. These are for the pulpit. This here is for the anchor button, the windlass button. And under my foot is for the outflow for the anchor locker. And this here, it hasn't been fixed to the deck yet. It's a 2-ton pad eye and it's for our inner forestay, for our new staysail that is getting made up currently. And it's actually not fixed. I think I told you it's not fixed to the deck yet. So I'll just lift it out. Oh no, it is. Oh no. Muscles. Woo! Yep, so that sits in like that and it sits on top of this HDPE pad. It's black because black is UV stable. and it will keep it raised off the deck as well, like these pads here. These blue lines here, these are just our halyards, and we're currently using them as secondary stays, I guess, for the mast. Wait a minute, the mast is in? Isn't this video supposed to be about our new DYNEEMA rig? We better go back in time and show you the install. So we'll head back and you can join us 3 days prior with Pete.
Yeah, here we're just putting a little bit of lanolin grease on the threads and this surface here where that tapered head goes in, and that's just because these are identical grades of stainless steel, so it's just a prevention against galling. If you've heard of galling and you don't know what it is, it's when stainless, it pulls off other little bits of stainless steel off the other surface, and the heat that's generated by the friction of turning them actually welds them in there. Stainless steel can grab up pretty well. So just a little bit of this to lubricate it. Just make sure we don't have that situation happening.
These low friction rings and shackles will be going back in place of our old bronze rigging screws. By placing HDPE spacers between the cheeks of the shackle, we can ensure that it will always remain centred on the chain plates and prevent racking.
As I was tightening that up, you could feel this bow shackle just pull in really nicely to these HDPE isolators, and that's where that lano grease really came into it, because a lot of time when you're putting that good tension on the stainless steel, that's when you get the galling, it all seizes up. Sometimes you've got to cut this stuff off with a grinder. That feels pretty good. So that'll be the bottom part of the tensioning for our new rigging. There'll be another ring like this. Pull, tension. But that's for the future.
Anywhere where there will be moving parts, we applied a liberal amount of the same Lanotec grease. If you remember a few episodes back, we talked about our T-ball fittings. The final stage of the installation is inserting these plastic plugs to prevent them from coming out when the stay has no tension on it. To keep crane time down to a minimum, we did as much of the preparation as we could while the mast was horizontal.
We'll have lazy jacks done nicely this time. We'll incorporate them into a boom bag. Our old lazy jacks, they came from right in under the spreaders, so the headboard of the sail always tangled in them, like constantly. Whereas this way, by having our lazy jacks start out on the spreaders, it'll be wider and we'll just be able to hoist the sail. We won't have all those tangles that we used to have. And by using DYNEEMA, and even though like this anchoring for these lazy jacks, I wouldn't normally have the legs of this spread so far, but with this DYNEEMA, I mean that'll hold a couple of ton. So having the anchor legs greater than 120 degrees isn't really weighing on my mind that much. So I've taken a few wraps with a clinch knot there, so no metal fastenings. Before, here at the spreaders, we used to have like an attachment point with a block, a pulley up here. We don't really need that, so I've just put a frictionless ring here and lashed it around the back of the spreaders, and this will just be the topping lift for our spinnaker pole. So with that lashing, it means it won't knock against, once there's a bit of rope through there. Unlike a block, it won't chip paint off. No metal fasteners, so again, we don't have dissimilar metal problems. And again, this is 4mm DYNEEMA. So each one of these individual legs can take 1.5 ton. So it's been basketed around this spreader. Yes, it's quite a sharp angle around there, but it's like the main bearing surface actually comes this way So again, really strong, and if there's ever any wear, really quick to replace. So no more metal in here. We can't strap the light on with Dyneema. So what we've got here is just some 1/4" screws, and we've just standardized all the screw fittings that are going into the mast are either 3/16 or 1/4". I've gone Imperial with that just because for some reason riggers and mast fittings, they still use Imperial. I guess there's a lot of good stuff coming from the States. So I just standardized everything 1/4" and 3/16, cap head, Allen key, machine screws for everything now. And also Pete just polished up this aluminium bail here, and that's just to stop any halyard wrap from getting actually onto the light and maybe, you know, like affecting the cord, or in the unlikely event that it might catch it and rip it off, it can't now because that bail, that nice shiny bail, gets the ropes off. And again, that's just held with 3/16 cap-headed screws. Any screw that's gone into the mast, we've put Loctite 243, and that'll stop them from backing out any in vibration, but it'll stop dissimilar metal corrosion as well. So that's what we've done with every fitting.
This is our coin that's going under the mast. It was under the mast before and it gave us good luck before, so we're going to put it back under. It's a very old coin actually. It's from 1895 and it's got Queen Victoria on it, so pretty impressive. I'm just going to clean it up with some lubricating oil. It's all oiled up. I'm just going to glue it into its little plastic sleeve, and then we're going to put it head side down into the mast base here. Like that. That's enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we cleaned up and painted this mast plug, and now it's been smeared very liberally with some lanolin grease. By using the mast's halyards for the lift, we avoided the possibility of having the difficult job of unhooking the crane and recovering a sling halfway up an unstayed mast. By taking multiple wraps on through the frictionless rings, we were able to gain enough mechanical advantage by hand to secure the mast upright.
One more time.
To get more tension on the shrouds and stays, later we ran a line from a winch and joined it to the Dyneema in the frictionless rings.
Stop. Back her off.
The dowel that you can see is to prevent the bowline and the Dyneema from becoming extremely hard and difficult to untie.
I'll just give that a crank. So should be going fairly tight now. Yeah. Someone handed me a shackle the other day on the job. I just threw it over the side.
Did you capture on film the disgust? Peek through this bag of metal fittings.
No. I didn't see that, no.
That's what's throwing the boat this way.
One more time. You saw the light. You saw the light. One more time. You saw the light. You saw the light.
After the dyneema is installed, it will go through several stages of tensioning, which you can see here, until it's settled enough to go for a sail. Once the tension is winched on, it is surprisingly easy to hold the dyneema and keep what you've gained by hand. This is where we fill our diesel tank in our bunker down below. This is the fitting, and just to stop any water leaking around the fitting, because it's not completely smooth and we wanted to match the surface of the deck, we've done the old epoxy trick with mold release, and I'll show you what it looks like. Ta-da! Because this isn't a flat surface, we used, instead of packing tape that we use quite often to make molds, we used a spray-on mold release agent, which we got from the fiberglass thing shop. So we just sprayed it with that, and then we put the thickened epoxy around and then pressed it down. And Troy was able to get under there and pop it. and then it was a case of tidying up, filling the voids, and then putting thickened epoxy, like fairing cells, around it just to make it nice and smooth. But it's really amazing. It's really mimicked exactly, like it's a precise mold for this fitting, so it's quite cool. I'm really happy that we kept these bars. They're really great for manoeuvring around decks safely. It's quite good when we're up here working on the mast. We can kind of lodge ourselves in, and I feel quite secure, and Troy feels quite secure. They were running all the way through the Dodger and into a spot here on the end of the coach top, but we cut them short and put a little cap in them, and so we've kept the original fiberglass mounts here, but then we removed the old mounts in there and just cut it short. Now we don't have another point of a hole going through the Dodger. That was unnecessary. We didn't need the bar inside the Dodger, we wanted it here. To mount the grab bars, we used 316 grade stainless steel threaded wood inserts to suit 6mm bolts. Each insert is butted with a glue mix of epoxy before being installed to make an incredibly strong fixture. This is the state of our cockpit now. We think we found all of the rotten ply, and you saw us removing it all and reglassing and doing a lot of fixes and repairs. What we didn't catch on camera was a lot of smothering with thickened epoxy with fairing cells, and a lot of sanding, lots and lots of sanding, and then going back and doing more fairing. So this is it now. It looks pretty rough because it's multicolored and so many layers of different primer coats from previous paint jobs, and hopefully she's ready to paint.
Our little back hatches that we made in Townsville 2 years ago, they're holding up great, and they've been stomped on and jumped on and everything else like that. So Alan, you'll be happy to know that these hatches that we made together, they're still hanging in there. These little holes in the back here, they might be a little bit of a mystery, and they're for our running backstays. We're going to put a soft shackle through here, and when we need the running backstays, when we're going to be using our staysail, we've got an attachment point right here. So how I made these is very similar. Excuse the plovers in the background. How I made them was very, very similar to the backstay chain plates that you saw before. So I got a bit of that HDPE tube with a 1/2 inch hole through the middle, bored a hole through, glued it in with epoxy, and then I top coated it with 3 layers of 450 double bias fiberglass. So the combing itself was already strong, but I just overcapped it. So we've got this here, and of course, just like the other holes, really, really rounded out and sanded, so it's super, super smooth. It's as smooth as our frictionless rings. So when we put the dyneema in there, there's no chance of chafe. And that's what we've got here as well. No chance of chafe, because HDPE is sort of it's not really, but it feels like a self-lubricating plastic. It's really, really slippery. And the more the Dyneema's in there, it just polishes and polishes. But at the moment, we've sanded this to as smooth as I can possibly get it. So there we go, pretty unobtrusive little attachment points for our running backstays. And the important thing is no bolts or screws through the deck. These will never, ever leak.
I just looked up the value of these things online, and that's a fair amount of dollars that we've got sitting under our mast now. Troy reckons that's why we've gotten away with so much mischief. So hopefully it continues to bring us lots of good luck. In our next episode, we take you through the process of hand painting our entire boat and our reasons why we chose this, at times stressful but highly rewarding method. As always, thank you for watching, subscribing and liking the video every week, and a special thank you to our wonderful patrons. Without you folks, we wouldn't be able to put these videos together.